Welcome to Echoes of Time, a journey into the forgotten worlds and the secrets they left behind.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into some pretty profound prophecies, the major signs that are said to come before the Day of Judgment, or Qiyamah. We'll be walking through a series of world-altering events, each one more incredible than the last.
So, what are these signs? Let's get right into it. Think of this as a story, a sequence of events told in chronological order, a cascade of trials and cosmic shifts that are said to lead directly to the final hour.
So where does it all start? It kicks off with what's described as the single greatest test humanity will ever face, the appearance of a figure known as the Dajjal, or the Antichrist.
According to the sources, he's been waiting, chained up on some mysterious island. His release is the trigger, the moment the world just plunges into chaos, war, and corruption on a scale we can't even imagine. And then he does something absolutely unthinkable. He makes this blasphemous claim, telling everyone, "I am your Lord." And to prove it, he starts performing what look like incredible miracles, all to deceive the masses.
Okay, and this is where it gets really tricky. This is the core of his whole deception. He'll present two choices, something that looks like a beautiful paradise and something that looks like a raging fire. But here's the twist. It's the exact opposite. What looks like paradise is actually hell. And what he calls hell, well, that's really paradise.
And you can imagine how he'd use these powers, right? He'll mislead thousands, making it rain on command, providing food out of thin air for his followers, and basically convincing them to turn their back on their faith and worship him instead.
Just when things seem their absolute darkest, right at the peak of this deception, a figure of incredible hope is said to return to Earth.
The way his arrival is described is just wow. A stunning moment of divine intervention. He isn't coming as a new prophet, but specifically to counter the Dajjal's trial and set things right.
So the stage is set for this epic showdown, right? Deception versus truth. And it all culminates at a specific place known as Bab-e-Lud, or the Gate of Lud.
And get this, it's not some big drawn-out battle. The moment the Dajjal sees Isa, he literally starts to dissolve, like salt in water. It just goes to show you, his power was all an illusion. The simple presence of divine truth makes his whole deception just crumble. And just like that, his trial is over.
So the great deceiver is gone. You'd think there'd be some peace, right? Well, not so fast. The relief is incredibly short-lived. A message comes from God, warning of a new, overwhelming trial that's about to be unleashed.
And then it happens. The barrier that's been holding them back for who knows how long just crumbles. Yajuj and Majuj, or Gog and Magog, are free. They're described as this chaotic, destructive force, just swarming from every direction to cover the earth.
What's so terrifying about them? It's their sheer numbers. We're talking about a horde so huge, so massive, they drink entire lakes dry as they swarm across the land. They consume everything, leaving nothing but barren earth behind. Believers are told to run for the mountains to find refuge.
But just as quickly as they appeared, they vanish. Their end is, well, it's as dramatic as their arrival. In response to prayer, God sends an affliction, a type of worm that attacks them from within. And just like that, the entire horde is destroyed, and a great rain comes to wash the land clean.
Okay, so after all that, things really start to pick up speed. The signs aren't just happening on Earth anymore. Now, the cosmos itself starts to unravel. The very laws of nature begin to break down. First, this weird, dense smoke starts to creep in, and it envelops the entire world. We're talking about a real, physical darkness that blocks out sight and fills everyone with this sense of dread and fear.
And then comes something that flips everything we know on its head. One morning, the sun just won't rise from the east. After a long, dark period, it will finally appear from the west. And the key thing to understand here is that this isn't just a weird cosmic event. It signals that the door for repentance, it's now permanently shut. And right on the heels of the sun rising from the west, another sign appears. A creature known as Dabat el-Ard, or the Beast of the Earth, is said to emerge.
And this creature has a very specific, very profound job. It's here to create a final, visible separation between people. It will actually speak to humanity, and then it will go around and mark every single person, making the faces of believers shine brightly and the faces of disbelievers become dark.
So now you have humanity literally marked and divided.
The final signs are these massive, earth-shattering cataclysms that are basically the last gasps of the world as we know it.
We're talking about 3 giant landslides or sinkholes, just unprecedented quakes that will shake the very foundations of the Earth, swallowing up parts of the land in 3 different places, one in the east, one in the west, and one in the Arabian Peninsula.
And then the final sign. A huge fire emerges from Yemen. But this isn't a normal fire that burns everything. Think of it more like a force that herds people. It moves when they move, it stops when they stop, and it relentlessly pushes everyone toward one single place, the land of the final gathering.
And that's it. All the major signs have come to pass. The final, inevitable moment is here. The trumpet sounds, and this world ends.
And the source material leaves us with this powerful verse. It's a sobering reminder that in that moment, everything we know, all our connections, family, friends, status, they just fall away. Every single soul stands completely alone to face whatever comes next.
This was Echoes of Time. If you love powerful history stories, subscribe and continue the journey with us.